Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7. So we are over one third of the way through this season, almost halfway through. We're getting through it pretty damn quickly. However, we're now on a bit of a break. We're now just over 1 week through that break. So we've still got 2 weeks until we return on May the 4th, I think it is. And hopefully when we return with May the 4th with that episode 8, we'll play through until the rest of the season without any breaks from that point onwards. There could be another 1 week break here or there. I guess it just depends on scheduling and whether they think it's right to have another break or not. That's for us to wait and find out, I guess. But let's hope we're not waiting too long for the season to end and to finish off this story. But we have already had a decent amount go down this season on The Flash, as well as just things revealed through, news, informational articles that have us excited for things later in the season. So in this video, we're going to be going over a few topics, one of those being a topic that people are bringing up to me in the comments section, as well as just some other topics that could connect to other news that has come out. But of course, throughout the video, be sure let me know your various opinions, thoughts, theories. If you want to add on to stuff we go over in this video, let me know all that in the comments section down below. I'm always curious, as you would know. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're excited for what's coming up next on The Flash, why not drop a like on the video to show support. So the first thing we're going to go over in this video should be the first thing I've put in the title most likely, and that is a theory around Reverse Flash and how he plays into this season, as well as just a connection to something that was supposed to happen at the end of last season, or at least what we're told to happen. What we're told was meant to happen at the end of last season, if that makes sense. I think that was English. Let me know if it translated well. So this theory revolves around the thought that the Speed Force, that we've been hanging around with since episode 5, I think it was, who of course looks like Nora Allen, or Barry's mother, which had been the previous case in been the case in previous seasons as well, is actually Eobard Thawne, or the Reverse Flash in disguise, or at the very least he is manipulating this situation to a certain degree. So we will go over the reasoning that people have behind this on the internet, as well as just giving my overall thoughts and likelihood of this actually happening, in my opinion, based off what we're seeing on the show and just stuff like that. Now, though I did say that people were bringing this up in the comment section of videos, as well as a couple people on Twitter, I did see 1 or 2 people mentioning the channel Blindwave as where they originally heard this. Now, I'm not sure if that was actually the case for everyone, but usually if people can actually name drop someone who, where a theory, or thoughts started, then usually they are the ones that did that or did start it. So shout out to them if they were the ones to come up with this train of thought first. Because people were mentioning them. So there you go. Now, of course, we know something is up with the Speed Force. Or, I think that's fairly obvious, or at least the show is leading us down that road to think something is up there and we should be suspicious. And I think it's pretty clear that is the right road to be going down. But of course, we don't know what the reasoning behind all that is at this point. Now, it is important to remember that the Speed Force itself isn't like this heroic force or a heroic being or a villainous being or anything like that. It's a neutral being that just does its job. It doesn't really have to serve to anyone or be a hero or villain to anyone. So if it's something to be up with it and for it to be doing something out of the ordinary, maybe leaning towards villainous ways, someone or something would have to be manipulating it or just presenting themselves as the Speed Force to, be leaning towards that way. And this does lead into the Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne stuff. So as I'm sure most of you would remember, we were meant to get a Thawne-related cliffhanger at the end of Season 6 of The Flash. Now, we of course got that cliffhanger at the end of episode 1 or 2, I think it was, which showed the original Harrison Wells reappearing after Nash sacrificed himself in episode 1. Of course, that's when he sacrificed himself and the other Wells into the fusion sphere to power the artificial Speed Force. But was that actually the Thawne cliffhanger that had been teased? And I think it was by Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen. He was the one that teased that, because that's a Wells-related cliffhanger, not a Thawne one. However, Thawne could have been referenced due to the fact that they did reuse the clip from season 1 of Thawne taking over Wells. So even though it is really a Wells cliffhanger, it is Thawne related in a way. That could have been the way it's worded, sort of maybe to hype something up and make it seem like it's something more than it is. And then we actually see it, we're like, okay, we can understand why you said it was Thawne related, but in reality, it's more of a Wells related cliffhanger. But as we should all know, the last time we actually interacted with Eobard Thawne, outside of flashbacks, of course, was in the Exorcism of Nash Wells episode in season 6, in which Thawne tried to take over Nash's body and, pretty much use him as another vessel or meat sack or whatever you want to call it. Now, Team Flash, however, was like, not today, Sonny Jim, and they yeeted him into, the nether or something like that. But He is out there. He's like a spirit searching for another vessel or meat bag, as I said. Now, it was thought that he could connect with the blood work or something along those lines going forward, but what if, in some way, Thorn was able to be in the mix with the other forces that we saw created, or at the very least unleashed, at the end of episode 3? Obviously, Nora or the Speed Force didn't show up until episode 5 after the incident that unleashed the other Force Lightning, and after both Faweza and Psyche were out and about in Central City. So it could be possible that Thorn himself has connected to that Speed Force side of things, and there's events that took place after episode 3 and before episode 5 that make things a bit more suspicious. And now he's able to go out and about and do exactly what the Speed Force has done previously. Now, the big things around this are like motives, and you don't really get any motives at the moment in regards to what the Speed Force is overly trying to do, outside of maybe trying to coerce Team Flash and sort of be on side with them. But in regards to my overall thoughts around it, will it happen? And it could, but I think the most likely thing going on is that it's just a corrupted Speed Force or something along those lines. Like, I think even if it was Thorn there, I think you'd probably see the same stuff happening, like trying to gain Team Flash's trust and being able to like manipulate them to do certain things. But I think it's more just a corrupted Speed Force, either due to what happened at the end of episode 3 with all this forces unleashed, or it's something that just happened when the Speed Force died and everything like that. Maybe what happened with Barry, reigniting the Speed Force, brought it back to life, but in like a weird way, and then also maybe the other forces mixed in there make it a bit more of an issue. That's something that we'll obviously learn, because this storyline's meant to end in episode 11 or 12, I think it is. So it's actually not that long until it ends. So we'll be finding out fairly soon, I think, what's actually going on there. But obviously, Thorn has to appear again sometime. He's going to have to appear again sometime. Like, they wouldn't have put his spirit up there and just left it, let it be there, and then not brought him back anytime soon. I'm sure we'll see him again sometime this season. At least I think we will. That we might not. So this could be it. It's just that I think seeing him in another way is the more likely option. But seeing that he was that spirit that went up at the end of that episode in season 6, it is logical that he could reconnect and maybe forge with the Speed Force in some way, shape, or form. But it still seems a bit out there, even for like the Flash and some of the weird stuff that they've done. Now, there's like 2 mini topics I wanted to go over because they're not really worth putting in like the video on their own. And one's more of an update. So the first one is that obviously we know about the 150th episode and some of the guest stars coming in, but apparently there's no more major guest stars for the 150th episode or guest character appearances outside of Jay Garrick, Nora West Allen, and Bart Allen. I say Nora West Allen because we should just assume that Jessica Parker Kennedy is playing her, or at least, Barry and Iris's daughter. So whether she's called Nora or not, that's for us to wait and find out. Now, obviously, they could be keeping a surprise cameo, but that's just what's being reported, that there's no other guest stars that are meant to be there because they would actually be there by now, unless they already live in Canada. So maybe there could be someone that's lurking, I don't know. But that could also mean that, just for a random example, Teddy Sears, who played Hunter Zolomon in season 2, might not be flying up to Vancouver to be in this episode and to film and stuff like that. However, Zoom could be in the episode, and it's just a stunt double in the Zoom suit and the mask never comes off, which is like what we saw in the 100th episode. So Teddy Sears did fly up there, but I think he was only there for a day. He had like limited time to actually be able to film there. So they did everything else with the stunt double with Zoom running and everything like that. So you could see something along those lines, and they could use that method for a few characters that if they want them to cameo, like even Reverse Flash, if they can't use Tom Cavanagh or Savitar, and just someone that doesn't really have to have their face shown, even Cicada if they wanted to. I'm not saying we want Cicada in this 150th episode, but there's been a bit of an example. If they don't really have to, if the actual actor that was playing them doesn't have to be there, they can just put a mask on the character, then they could be in this episode and it would be a surprise, but it's not the actual actor playing them, which lines up with that report. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there, of course. And in a previous video, I think it was in the video where we talked about the fact that Jessica Parker Kennedy and Jay Garrick and Bart Allen were all confirmed for that 150th episode, I did talk about some COVID issues in Canada. Apparently they're not going to be a concern for the ending of this season's filming. Apparently, like the methods that all the studios and the networks and just the filming productions have is so like airtight at the moment that like these issues in Canada aren't going to be well, the COVID concerns aren't going to be that much of an issue, if that makes sense. So obviously that could just be them talking it up, trying to make people go, oh yeah, no worries, don't worry about anything. And then all of a sudden there's a massive outbreak and we get, season 6 of The Flash 2.0 where they finish with like 3 episodes to go. Or we don't get to see those final 3 episodes, might I say. But that's what they're saying. So I've seen people asking in the comment section down below and ask me on Twitter if it's actually going to be an issue. And I don't think it is, just based off what they're saying at least. They're apparently their methods and ways that they go about things is like top notch. So maybe they might regret saying that and they might have jinxed themselves, but that's for us to wait and find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all this. Do you line up with that theory? I know a lot of people were going along with it. Do you still go along with it? Or do you have another theory that leads into it? Or do you just think it's a corrupted Speed Force like I'm thinking? I think it's going to be pretty basic, just the setup, but it's more just like the backstory of it and where it goes that might be more interesting, if that makes sense. So I'm leaning with just the basic stuff, but if you have any thoughts and theories, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.